Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Oosh Brothers podcast. Now, we are just enamored with just how well this Tuesday has gone so far. If it feels like I'm overstating, it's because I am. Today was a bit shithouse. I will not lie. There was a lot of goings on, whether it be work or personal or social media or whatever. It just seems to be all hitting on this fine Tuesday. But before we jump into any of that sort of shenanigans, Louis, the check-ins. How's it going, man?
Yeah, it's good, dude. It's same shit. Just tired. It's my last day tomorrow.
On Earth?
No, that'd be awful.
That would be.
No, my last day at my job before I go and do something better. So it's just good news all around, really. You just know. No, but it's good. It's last day tomorrow. I'm gonna finish early. There's some sort of Wednesday afternoon drinks. I'll probably have one, and then I'm like, shit, sorry boys, I got stuff to do, which is not hang out with you cunts. So I got a couple days before I start my new job. So in that time, I've been doing my job, but I've also been scripting. I have started a couple scripts, one for the prototype games, and then I started another one for. I was heavily inspired by Nakey Jackie's latest installment. So
great! It's a great video. If you are a fan of YouTube and you're listening to this podcast, we cannot promote Nakey Jackie high enough. Like, in terms of YouTubers that have been around for donkeys, he's one of those. Does not post very often. I think we get. Oh shit! Sorry, first yawn of the podcast. I think we get one every 6 months if we're lucky. There was a time where he didn't post for I think about a year. That when we do get them, they mean the world to us, and that's probably one of the best things. I am criminal for rewatching his videos constantly. I actually have one up on the screen right now. Like I'm 10 minutes into the Age of Broken Video Games video while I was doing some editing of my own stuff. One of the chief inspirations for not only your boy BB Malloy, but Louis as well.
So so his latest installment about him letting Counter-Strike take over his life. My idea, and I've started and I've written the intro. It's about 800 words, and it's I'm gonna try and get good at FC26 when it comes out. So basically, I go through how we used to play FIFA, used to play the Champions League games.
Yeah.
And then back in the early days, we'd create our own players, put them on Man United, give them the highest stats, and chuck them straight in the starting lineup.
Oh yeah.
Then I discuss Ultimate Team and how to get good at it, what it what it entails, and how my only highlight is getting to Division 1 FIFA 15. So I thought, why not 10 years later try and do it again, but in a much more difficult circumstance, because it was a lot easier to do it back then. So I'm going to try and do it again this time. I've written the script. I've started the script, but I don't. Obviously, the game isn't announced, so I can't actually do anything about that just yet. Well, I kind of have to wait until there's an announcement.
Yeah, it's not going to be released for a little while yet either. So, I mean, it's hard to write a script
probably
about
not
something
till
that doesn't exist yet. Like, you could probably go do the background and stuff, but
Oh yeah, I've done like so all that stuff's done. I've even put in the oh sweet. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Shit, yeah, it is. Cool, because where are we? I'll open it up and I'll be able to give you the. Yeah, so I've got the video game Crash, which is filmed, and I've got it in the editing thing at the moment. I just have to figure out how to do all that stuff. The prototype one is typed up, and this one, blah, is 774 words. And I even the name of the doc is How FC26 Took Over My Life, but I'm obviously not going to call the video that, because it probably won't take over my life, because I just don't have the time to let it. But it will be the only game I play for a while.
That is a very good title, though. In terms of
it's incredible,
to grab people's attention, that's kind of where you need to be at. Even if it's how FC26 took over my life, and you can only casually play 3 times a week. No one's gonna jump in the comments and be like, fucking title's a bit much. You know what I mean? People are just gonna click it and be like, oh, this is a good video, and they it's the same with anything. It's all very clickbaity. Oh, if I'm looking in the suggesteds that are on my screen right now, I recreated a Netflix movie at home. No, you didn't. You know what I mean? You probably did your best. You probably did okay. Your editing's probably good, but no, you didn't. I took America's Worst Possible Train. No, you didn't.
It's all subjective.
It's all subjective. That's what I'm saying is you could say that it did take over your life because that was the only spare time that you had. And you wouldn't be lying. It'd just be a bit hyperbolic. That'd be all it is. Some things that I learned. I have had a person in my comments pestering me for the last, I don't know how long. That they've been asking me to connect a guy called Yahoo Serious to Albert Einstein in terms of actors to characters, right? And I was like, I don't know who the fuck that is. I can't be asked. So I did a few different ones, a few more well-known ones.
Yeah.
Decided... Christ almighty, it's the 4th yawn so far. Decided, you know what, fuck it. I'll have a look for this guy. I'll see what his deal is, and I'll go from there. Turns out, Aussie actor, his real name, unfortunately, Greg Peed, which opens up just schoolyard bullying to the finest extent. Greg peed his pants. Greg peed the bed. He wouldn't have been able to escape it. So, when he was a young man, he changed his name by deed poll to Yahoo Serious. Terrible name. One of the worst I've heard, actually. And then managed to trick a bunch of Hollywood moguls into forking over almost $15 million so that he could write, co-direct, and star in a movie called Young Einstein. This is in 1988. This is during the last sort of death rattle of America's absolute infatuation with Australia, where anything Australian culture was seen as cool and edgy, and Australia, Crocodile Dundee was a hard man. So Crocodile Dundee had come out 2 years before in '86. The only movie that outsold Crocodile Dundee worldwide was Top Gun for that year. '86 is a crazy time for Australian and American relations. On the tail end of this, obviously Yahoo Serious does his thing. Young Einstein is a cult classic, but overall a flop on all accounts. It's got 33% on Rotten Tomatoes. Apparently it made fuck all in the box office. I saw a couple of clips. The acting is beyond average. This guy is out of his fucking mind. Big fro of red hair, overacting, doing the whole bit. Very Drop Dead Fred, Rick Mayall styles, without the comedic timing. Just very brash, on the nose kind of Aussie humor. It's a bit much. Anyway, so I'm pretty steeped in Australian pop culture. I'm pretty steeped in lots of different types of pop culture. I have never heard of Yahoo Serious before someone suggested this to me. That includes like Bert Newton's 20 to 1 series that we used to watch when we were kids. It includes countless hours of YouTube watching pop culture deep dives, the whole bit. I'd never heard of Yahoo Serious before this. Dude did 3 movies.
It's a pretty out there name.
It's crazy. Did 3 movies, right? He did Young Einstein, and the premise is that he is the son of an apple orchard farmer who discovers E equals MC squared while he was splitting the beer atom in order to make beer bubbles. Dumb as fuck.
Pretty sure it was
concept,
Ernest
straight off
Rutherford
the
that
bat.
split the atom.
Yeah, it was, and he's a Kiwi, so reps up. But like,
Yeah.
it's the premise of the movie is already shit. And then, so 2 years later, 1990, he brings out Reckless Kelly, where he plays a futuristic version of Ned Kelly that eventually, manages to shoo some like real estate agents off his island or something. The premise again is very fucking weird and not a very good film. Third and final comes 10 years later when he releases just a terrible fucking movie, available completely for free on YouTube, by the way. I had a quick skim through it, called Mr. Accident. Again, terrible fucking film. So 3 movies under this dude's belt, and he's widely regarded as, like from 88 to 92, apparently was in the same conversation as people like Crocodile Dundee in terms of Australian fame. Like popular culture and shit, because he was apparently into it. Like that was something that he was just, like that people were after at that time. So I make the video, right? He was married to a lady called Lulu Pincus. I'm not even close to fucking joking. So she was Lulu Serious while they were married. Just by itself, incredible. Turns out Lulu, our girl Lulu, was in Mad Max, right?
Has a big nose.
She has a huge nose, a schnoz, if you will.
He looks really familiar.
He does, right? And I was trying to figure out why the fuck, but I think it's because he looks like Walton Goggins.
A little bit.
There's a Walton Goggins vibe.
Goggins.
Yeah.
Or
Guy Pearce is the other one I thought of. He's a very good looking man. Like in his day, very good looking chap.
It looks like he's trying to be the Pauly Shore of Australia.
I honestly thought the Rick Mayall. That was my first go-to with the crazy red hair and the overacting.
Just given the movies, like, so Pauly Shore, you have like Biodome and Encino Man and all that sort of shit.
Oh, that's true.
These look like those kind of movies. It's like Mr. Accident, Reckless Kelly, that kind of shit.
Yeah, Mr. Accident definitely has an Encino Man feel. Absolutely.
And it's reviewed poorly, so it's very much on Pauly Shore's level.
Dude, it's like I had just a quick skim through it, and the overacting and the underacting actually from some of the people on set was fucking atrocious. This guy was doing his absolute most, and it was garbage. But so that's not even the worst bit. So obviously, I don't know if Australian actors get residuals. I don't know if they do. If people still watch this movie, you can stream it on YouTube. You can stream any of them on YouTube, and pay like the $4 or whatever it is to rent it. Or Mr. Accident is actually free to watch. The one scene I did watch, he's sitting in his apartment. He's lost his girlfriend, and then he goes, "Oh, at least I've still got you guys." And it's his goldfish and his dog. The goldfish starts to swim around in circles in the fishbowl and then yeets itself out the window. And he's in Sydney. You can see like the harbour in the background of his window and shit. I'm like, oh, okay, like the fish has gone off to greener pastures, like it's a freshwater fish. So this is obviously for comedic effect. It gets demonstrably worse when the fish hits the road, is still alive, is flopping around, and then gets hit by a car. Essentially, the fish killed itself in this movie.
That kind of reminds me, oddly enough, of like a scene in Family Guy where Chris has a fish that he looks after, and then but the fish breaks out and then robs him. kind of similar to that, but I'd say Family Guy probably did that way better than letting a fish get hit by a car.
Yeah,
you know?
and it gets run over a few times for comedic effect as well. There's a whole bit surrounding it, but so so we've got the fact that his name is Yahoo Serious, that he's a self-funded quote unquote movie star who had mild fame over the course of about 2 years.
And Reckless Kelly, I'm just looking this up now.
Yeah,
Hugo Weaving's in that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, so he's one of the businessman types, and this is 1990 as well. This is like I think it's pre Priscilla, and obviously it's pre Matrix. This is like early Aussie flicks Hugo Weaving, where he wasn't anybody. Like, you know, obviously now we know him as Red Skull. He was Agent Smith in The Matrix. He has all of these incredibly pivotal roles in terms of like decent popular culture now. But in Reckless Kelly, he's one of the like, one of the dudes basically. So I'd never heard of this guy up until now. I start researching for this video because I'll just tell you the connection straight off the bat. So like our girl Lulu was in Mad Max. She was in a scene with a guy called Roger Ward. Roger Ward played Fifi. I don't know, the big muscle man with a bald head and a moustache from Mad Max, if you've seen Mad Max. And obviously he was in another scene with Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson met King Charles III. King Charles III met Winston Churchill as a small boy. And Winston Churchill, on more than one occasion, met Albert Einstein. Right, so there's the connection. It's in 6, blah, 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 blah. Going a little bit further into the research, I come across this video, 5-minute video, about Yahoo Serious, and it's the title of the video is Flame-Haired 80s Star Yahoo Serious Accused of Squatting an Elderly Man's Home. And I was like, okay, so like I have to watch this, right? Like I know I'm in the middle of something and I really should try and smash out this video. So as it turns out, Yahoo Serious, right? This dude who probably does get a few residual checks here and there, was living in his car, and this old gentleman, this elderly gent, came upon him and was like, "Hey man, are you fucking Yahoo Serious?" And he was like, "Yeah, I am." And he's like, "Are you living in your car?" And he's like, "Yeah, I am." So this guy's like, "Fuck nah, man, come and live with me. I live in Palm Beach in Sydney. It's a very nice spot. We're right on the beach. You can live in the granny flat under my house, and I keep living upstairs." Cut to a few years later, old mate gets dementia.
Did he before you go on? Did he respond with, "Are you serious?"
Potentially, there's nice. The stench of potential.
Yeah.
So, yes, I am, and don't call me Shirley. But
yeah.
So that he moves into this granny flat. I'm assuming that he had zero money. Like residuals is like no dice. And that's that kind of fucking sucks for the dude, but whatever. Anyway, cut to a few years later, and the old guy gets dementia. And his power of attorney is this old lady who, in the video, for whatever reason, looks like she's just been for a swim and didn't dry her hair. Like she's got bare feet, baggy t-shirt, soaking wet hair, and she's doing this interview with a current affair. Which is like, you've had so much time to prepare for this. And she looks like she's just jumped out of the pool because someone's like, "Hey, can we talk to you about Yahoo Serious?" And she's been like, I'm playing mermaids with the family right now, but I could do that. And so they go up to this flat. They knock on the door, and he refuses to answer. He's got no entry signs plastered up around the place. He's barricaded himself inside. She has gone there multiple times, day after day, and she's standing at the door going, Yahoo, we need to talk." And then a current affair lass goes, "Hey, Mr. Yahoo, we have some serious questions for you." And is like taking the piss out of the situation. But this dude, like, they've shut the power off. They've shut the hot water off. They've done everything they can possibly do to get this cunt out of the house, and he fucking won't go. And it's the most hilarious thing. I was trying to liken it to something. It'd be like if Billy T. James was alive today and was living in my sleep out. Like, oh man, Billy T, like you're from the Waikato as well. Like your maunga's taupiti just like mine is, and yada yada yada. You should come crash at my house. You can come sleep in the sleep out, man. That's where I create my content and all that kind of shit. And he just rolled up, locked the door, and just never coming out again type shit. Like that'd be that's what I can equate it to, because this dude, like obviously Billy T had a bit more success with stand up and stuff, but his movies were shit. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Billy T's movies were garbage. Like, Came a Hot Friday, came a hot garbage, bro. Like, that was fucking dumb. And then, what else did he have? I mean, he was all right in Foot Rock Flats, but he only had a bit part. Like, he was an actor who was playing a stereotypical Māori guy who owned, like, a diner or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that's his one note. That was the one note that he played. And, you know, his sketch show was good, I guess, for some parts. Other parts were a bit cringe. But, yeah, his movies were fucking T-rash. But, yeah, so I was so enamored by this because it's weird what you come across. Obviously, for me, you know, my sensibilities, I fucking love pop culture. And these are the kinds of nuggets that you come across that you just, like, it just keeps that alive. Also, I've just typed in Yahoo Serious again to get the title of that video, and I've scrolled down, and the video that I posted, for Young Einstein, the Albert Einstein, Yahoo Serious to Albert Einstein, is the number one recommended for Yahoo Serious, which is great.
Good.
This is fantastic news. But yeah, so no, I just thought that was a fucking weird, crazy coincidence, because this current affair video was only from 2 months ago. She did mention that in the last part of the video, she mentioned that there was going to, there was going to be a court hearing in the coming weeks, but there's no news about this at all. And then, oh my god, what the fuck is this? Okay, so reclusive 80s movie star Yahoo Serious reveals he was close to death amid claims he is squatting in Palm Beach. So he's obviously made some sort of statement where he's come out and said that he is being accused of unlawfully occupying the home of Charles Philip Porter. He didn't... Oh yeah, this man is out of his fucking mind. Crazy. But yeah, no, in my video I mentioned that 15 minutes of fame can be extremely dangerous when not monitored, you know, or not correctly what's the word I'm looking for here? Handled. Like, I had my little 15 minutes, and you know, I've kind of somewhat built a little community and kept somewhat of a relevancy or whatever, but you know, eventually I'll get bored of this, or my fans will get bored of this, or whatever. But to only have your career that anyone gave a fuck about last 4 years, and then you just fall into obscurity to a point where you, like, are squatting in some fucking dementia patient's house. Like, you've got to really, really take a look at yourself after that, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's but the last piece of news that anyone had on this dude was him coming out and saying he was close to death. But the lady in the video was like, he's told us that that he is very important to the earth, and that he's making a comeback soon and all this kind of shit. Like, dude's just out of his fucking mind.
Yeah.
I wonder if because there's nothing past March 21st. And we're in June. And the video would have been posted in April. There's nothing. They must have just left him alone. Because there is nothing after March 21st. He was evicted in 2020 after falling behind on rent up to 27,000 Australian dollars, which is how he ended up living in his car. And then from living in his... So him and his wife split up in 2017. He obviously went on a little bit of a bendux, ended up getting evicted in 2020, and has just fucking snowballed into hell from there by the look of it. Which is pretty fucked up. It's pretty fucked up. God, Australians will do anything for a headline, eh? Reclusive Hollywood star reveals he was close to death amid claims he is squatting in multi-million-dollar... What's the rest of this? This is fucking sensational as fuck. Multi-million-dollar beachside pad in one of Australia's wealthiest suburbs. If you see the house, you can see how much of a fucking shithole it is. It is one of those...
I'm not surprised.
It's one of those bungalow fucking horrid things that you would rent from, Book a Batch that no one has, mowed the lawns in 6 months, and it's just an awful little squat hole. But that is such a fucking sensational headline. Reclusive Hollywood star. Okay, citation needed right there. Reclusive, yes. Hollywood star, absolutely not. 3 terrible films, one of which got you some cult notoriety, does not make you a Hollywood star. He was close to death amid claims. I read the article. He didn't actually say he was close to death. He said that what he was doing was a humanitarian thing by watching the house. This dude's out of his mind. Squatting in a multi-million-dollar beachside pad. No. Sorry. The Daily Mail. It's dailymail.co.uk as well. So here I am giving Australians shit about their sensational headlines, and it's the fucking British tabloids yet again. Crazy fucking behavior. Anyway, so I can't talk about this with anyone at work because there are privacy policies. But tomorrow, good people, I go in and sit down with my... You know what? Actually, it's probably a bit dangerous to talk about. You know what? If you're listening and you want clarity and you want me to chat to you about this, hit me up on Instagram, bb_Malloy, and I'll tell you there. I just don't think having a voice recording of me talking about what I wanted to talk about is the correct path to take here, actually. But yeah.
Probably not.
No. And I think you know what I was going to bring up, but I don't think we should.
No.
Yes, indeed. So, I mean, in terms of, what else is going on, not much, man. Family life, work, social media, same shit. I got a video coming out.
Same shit, different anus.
Same shit, different anus.
I'd like to thank Yahtzee Cross Whore or Zero Punctuation for that line. That's how I first heard it.
Nice.
Because he's discussing video games. And he's not wrong. When most of the games nowadays are indeed same shit, different anus.
What was the other thing? Oh, I got a video coming out this Friday. Which for the people listening will only be 2 days away. It is about the rise and fall of Hooters, which is...
Seen it.
It's one of my best, I think. I've got 2 more filmed that I can start editing whenever I feel the need for speed. One
Speaking
of them is
editing,
about...
just a quick cue.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm still trying to sort out my whole the green screen edit.
Yeah.
On my one, obviously I've chroma keyed it, all that sort of carry on. Mm-hmm. I've got the white background on because safe bets. Or I could put something else in, but anyway, I'll think of that when I come to it. I just need to expand the green screen, but I could do like an AI portrait cutout, but that takes ages.
What do you mean expand the green screen?
I'll bring it over here if you can kind of see it.
No, I can only see the top right-hand corner of your screen.
So,
okay, do you want to show me the screen? Okay, so you just need to mask it.
okay.
Yeah.
Quick tutorial on the pod. So I don't have to bother
ladies
you.
and gentlemen, welcome to BB's Editing Corner. This is where I give you voice-only tutorials on how to edit your videos. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be using Filmora for this exercise.
Excellent software.
It is not bad. It's not a bad software. All right.
If I knew how to use Premiere Pro, and it wasn't daunting every time I opened it up, then I'd use Premiere Pro.
Yeah, it's a
But
scary
every time I
program.
go to try to use it, I've tried to cut clips, and then I've been able to put a transition in, and then that's as far as I go. And I'm like, I'm just going to not try it now.
My PC is hardcore enough to handle it, but I shit my pants every time I open it, and I crawl back to Filmora.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to make feature films. I just make silly videos for people to enjoy. So, click the video.
Masking.
Yeah, click the video in question. Your timeline video.
It's clicked.
You've clicked it. Okay, then go up to the top right hand corner and click video.
Yes.
Okay. Next to basic on the right hand side will be mask.
Indeed.
Are you with me so far?
I'm there, dude.
Right. So there's a couple of options here. You can use an AI mask.
Yeah.
To cut yourself out. That will essentially take care of the majority of the issue for you. You can use the draw mask and just draw around the edges of the green screen, and sort of cut yourself out. And I because of the size of the green screen and the way that it's shaped, I like to use the rectangle tool because it makes it a whole lot easier. So for this exercise, click the rectangle tool. And then use the swivel to move it around to make it portrait. And then you drag the corners until they match the green screen. And the best part is you can apply this to all of your clips because the green screen doesn't move, and because you're sitting down, neither do you. So that's a bit of a...
But it's... Wait. It's cutting me out.
You have to show me your screen. Do you want to flip the camera around so you're not being a fucking weirdo?
I'm on my MacBook.
Are you holding your MacBook up to the computer right now?
Yes.
Oakley dokley. Right. So grab the slider that is at the sides, the top in the middle.
This one?
Yeah, drag that up. Okay. No, that's not what I was after. I can't see you very well. So go back to where you were. At the top of the rectangle.
Is that
in the middle? Kind of. In the top in the top of the rectangle. In the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, drag that one up. There you go. So is the video of you cut your foot off?
Yes.
Or can you drag your video up?
No, my foot is cut. Half of it.
Okay, so
anyway.
that is mad unfortunate. So
That's
the other
fine.
thing you can try is the pen tool, and it works the same as the pen tool in Photoshop. You just draw around the outline of the green screen, and it will give you all of the realm in which you can basically sit there and do that.
Okay, so just around here?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but so don't make it too far apart because sometimes you do need to adjust it. But yeah, so that's the basis of it, man. And then obviously you put a white screen underneath where you've green screened, and then match it and you've got yourself a Nakey Jakey Big Tug BB Malloy special.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
But yeah, so things you can fuck around with when we're not in the middle of recording a podcast.
Sorry, I wanted to, while I had you, I didn't want to call later on and be like, hey, Brev, you know,
Teach
I need
me
a
real
hand.
quick. But yeah.
So,
oh, fuck, that was
on.
the other thing I wanted to talk about. Right, so, 3 years ago, I was in a film called 1978, right?
Yeah, I remember.
And I spent, the better part of a week driving myself out to Feathy, out Kahutara, basically giving up days at work. I had to take a few days leave without pay so that I had, enough time to go out there and record this, film part of this movie. I had a speaking role. I played, what was my name? I can't remember what my name was. But I was on the run from some gang members that I owed money to. They followed me out to a school, blah, 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 blah. I filmed a couple of scenes in a couple of different places. All was well with the universe. Friend of mine, Adam, is also in the movie. He was in Avatar and a bunch of other, really high budget films.
And
as
I used to work with someone that also worked on that film. So
on Avatar.
No, on 1970.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in 1978. And the White Upper, there was a lot of kids and people who wanted to be in the industry who auditioned and got minor parts or non-speaking roles. I myself ended up with a nice little minor part. But what they've started doing... So this is 3 years ago that filming wrapped, right? We're in 2025. Filming wrapped in February of 2022. It has come to my attention in the last sort of hour before we started this podcast episode that they are now grubbing for donations from the families that were in the movie, that they paid us fuck all, by the way. We don't get residuals either. Big ups to Peter Jackson for fucking that up for everybody. He is he signed into law. Well, he had signed into law. However the fuck that worked, but basically he made it so that no New Zealand actors, when a film is filmed here in New Zealand, can be paid residuals on the scenes that they film. So that's why a lot of people come out here, because extras are cheap, because locations are cheap, because and we have every sort of backdrop you could possibly imagine. So you think of Lord of the Rings, you think of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, you think of Yogi Bear was filmed here as well. They pretended to be Canada.
What a film.
All of those extras that weren't paid, obviously The Last Samurai was out here as well. Tom Cruise obviously got paid handsomely. Dan Aykroyd and Yogi Bear would have got paid handsomely. Same with the actors in Crouching Tiger and Hidden Dragon. I think they filmed the second one out here. So, fucking Donnie Yen and the whole cast of Lord of the Rings would be getting paid residuals because of how massive that franchise is. Every single extra who appeared in any one of those movies that is a New Zealand citizen that was hired for the film here in New Zealand does not get paid a single residual. I know personally at least 10 people that were in the Lord of the Rings movies who had a little bit part, got paid for their time on set. Most of the time it's fucking pittance, it's fuck all. And then they go about their merry business. They filmed a World War II action scene here, and a bunch of fucking absolute dropkicks couldn't wait to get dressed up in Nazi SS uniforms. So they had a few people down there, but it was what was it, $50 a day or something? And that was kind of the, $50 a day for a full 8 to 10 hour day just so you could like roll around in the mud and dress up as a Nazi is pretty fucked up. Like I'll say that right off the rip. That's pretty fucked up. But yeah, so we get shafted. Any which way but loose, we get fucking shafted. I got paid over the course of, I can't remember how many days I put in, but I remember doing 8 to 10 hour days on this film, just doing the same 2-minute scene over and over and over again. Was like $750, and I was putting in days at like 10 hours, and I did 2 or 3 lots of filming at Kahutata School. I did 2 lots of filming at this random abandoned house. It was raining on the day. And then we shot one more scene at this like random as fuck house out in the middle of nowhere where I'm outside, not on camera, and all I had to do was say something to the effect of "Oi." And I was there for 5 hours. Like, they would film the inside scene, and then I was like, anyone could do this. Like, you've got people on set who are standing there doing fucking nothing, just because it's me on the set. I could be at my house. I could grab out I've got a condenser microphone right here. Okay, I could set it up, take 2 steps back and go, "Oi!" And you could put some sort of vocal effect on it, or play it on a speaker outside or something, so I'm not fucking wasting your time and money, my time, away from work, taking time off, like leave without pay so I can film this fucking movie and shit.
Yeah.
So,
but that's the glamour of Hollywood, you know.
There's no glamour to it. That's the shitty part. Like, so this is an independently funded film. It's
an idiom. But like you go, like, you're like, oh, I'm gonna be a film star, and it's gonna be the best, and then you go there and it's like 14-hour days, and you like my former coworker who worked on your feature film, it was like, because he's done a bunch of work on other films. Like, he did a film with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's apparently a bit of a cock, which doesn't surprise me.
No, I've heard that as well.
But it's like they'll stay in their caravan for hours, just like probably rehearsing or, I don't know, firing one off or whatever. And then they'll come out and do a scene for like 10-15 minutes, and they'll go back into their caravan, and then that's it. Like, it's just hours upon hours of waiting, because you have to set up different, like, there's different lighting setups, different camera setups, you know, you want the set to look a certain way. So it's just a ball ache is what it is.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Which is why I haven't dipped my toe. Apart from that one film that I helped make in year 13 for media studies.
I was in that film.
No, it was year 12. And it was awful.
Yes, it was.
It was atrocious. But it did get shown at the Masterton Cinema. So, you know, big shout out to Cale and Ethan Roseman and and Charlotte, I believe her name was, for helping that film get made. I didn't make it. Obviously, I'm not going to take sole credit for it.
That fucking fake blood ruined my Lamb of God shirt, by the way. Ruined it. I don't know what you guys made that out of, but it was like tar. It did not.
I'm pretty sure there was some. I think there was some sort of dye and jam.
Fuck! It was ridiculous. Like, I put it through the after rinsing it several times, putting it through the wash. I could not get it to not be sticky. It was atrocious. There's still a picture of us somewhere. Actually, I'm pretending to be a dead body, and you're crouched over me. Thumbs up.
It's on Mum's laptop.
Oh, it's one of her wallpapers.
Sure.
One of her static wallpapers. But so come to find out that this 1978 movie, after 3 years, is still in post-production. So I have aged, clearly. It's been 3 years. 2022, I was in February of 2022. I was 26, turning 27. I've just turned 30. And after post-production, after any sort of media run that these cunts do, we're looking at maybe 2026. I'll be 31. It'll be a full, fucking almost 5 years on from where we were. And after all of the what are they called? Like they've on their Facebook page, they've been grubbing for donations, right? Oh, please help us film. Please help us finish our fucking independently funded film. You know, like, oh, we really sunk a lot into, you know, paying the young people and blah, blah, fucking blah, cry me a river type shit. And it was like, and I'm like, I'm not fucking donating to yous for a start. Like, we didn't get any sort of recognition. A couple of us, well, a huge majority of us actually, were not invited to the rap party. So, like, there's a rap party going on. Like there's cake and he like bought everyone a little gift and shit. Me and Brad and Adam and the other ex-gang member dude who played a gang member in this film, we were not invited at all. And like I understand for Brad and the boys, like the gang member boys, based in Wellington, probably not feasible for them to come over. But they held the breakup party at Fernridge School, which at the time was like, oh no, I was living here, so it's about 3 minutes drive from my house, and I wasn't invited. Yeah. I know that producer Jess had my number. I know that Isaac had my number. I know that the co-director, I can't remember her name, she was hardly ever on set, and when she was fucking horrible for some reason. She had my number as well. Not a single cunt invited me. And it was like, that goes beyond the realms of mad unfortunate. That is grossly unfortunate.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. So the other thing too is that, yeah, like in the shorts that I've seen, in the trailers and shit, I don't even know if they use our scenes. That's going to be the most heartbreaking bit for me. After waiting 3 years, I went and got an agent. I went through Jude at Red Rocket, who was lovely, gets me zero fucking work, and every time I go to audition, it's with the same chick in the same place, and I get turned down every time. The last audition I went for, I drove 2 hours to Wellington, did the 8-minute audition, and then there was a crash at the bottom of the Petone turnoff, so it took me 4 hours to get home. I did a 6-hour round trip for an 8-minute audition, and they gave it to a giant Samoan guy because they were looking for diversity, and I was a fill-in spot. So after that, I didn't pay my subscription to Star Now, which is only $80 a year, and it puts you on basically the front page of, you know, like talent and that kind of shit, where they can be like, oh, I'm looking for a guy who looks like that. Bring him in and we'll audition him. I didn't pay my subscription after that. I haven't received any more calls for auditions. I don't want to drive 2 hours to Wellington to be turned down every single time. If I lived in Wellington, like if I lived where you live, in the city, I would go to as many auditions as I can. Like I'd be on my lunch break, I'd be whipping down to, because it's only down by the theatre, down by Welsh Dragon. What's that called?
The theatre.
It's at the end of Courtney
you mean
Place.
The cinema?
Yeah, it's the one right at the end of Courtney Place with the big, like across from the big spider statue.
I think it's the Embassy.
Yeah, so like maybe 5 or 6 doors down from the Embassy, on that little side street is where my agent's office is. And if I lived and worked...
that's rough, because right across the road from that is a fish and chip shop.
Yeah, and a nice fish and chip shop as well.
It's a fucking solid fish and chip shop.
Yeah. But like in terms like, so she's and it sounds a little bit fucking like back alley or whatever, but she was, until he got proper famous, she was representing Julian Dennison. So she represented him right up until he got his role in Deadpool 2, and then they looked elsewhere for better management. But she helped him get his role in Hunt for the Wilder People, and he was in that commercial for drink driving. Or drug driving or whatever it was. So I go, he's in
he's in the real life adaptation of How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
and I'm tempted to see that because Nick Frost is in that, and that's my guy.
I'm definitely going to go see it. Like that's I love How to Train Your Dragon. Like live action remakes are generally pretty shit, but this is not in the hands of Disney. This is in the hands of DreamWorks. So I have a slightly higher expectation because Disney doesn't give a shit. They just want their IP to be as close to the original as possible.
Because I didn't actually know, but the guy that basically founded DreamWorks and built it got fired from Disney because he wanted royalties for his movies.
Yeah.
And they didn't give them to him. So then he was like, well, fuck you guys, I'm going to go make DreamWorks. And then his first film was Shrek. And like an essential piss take of every single thing that Disney stands for.
I don't think the first DreamWorks film was Shrek.
Or like the first big one. The first big hit, I'm pretty sure was Shrek. Yeah,
because there was Prince of Egypt and Road to El Dorado.
Yeah. Great movie.
I wonder what else they've...
The Road to El Dorado probably helped a lot of young men find their sexuality and their preference.
I was actually talking to my wife about Shell the other day.
Yeah.
And just the... Oh, man. Like, as a young man, seeing Shell for the first time and being like, oh, South America is where I need to be. That's... Oh, their first movie was Ants.
Yeah, 95?
98.
Oh, it was close.
Yeah, October of 98 was Ants. December of 98 was Prince of Egypt. March of 2000 was El Dorado. June of 2000 was Chicken Run. Bro, they have gone on a legendary run from here. That's crazy. So, Chicken Run alongside Aardman Studios in June of 2000. Shrek in May of 2001. Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. That is a classic movie. And if you've seen it, and chances are you fucking have, because it was in like every Kiwi kid's fucking DVD collection for whatever reason. Everyone had a copy of Spirit.
I haven't.
What? You've seen Spirit. I know you've seen Spirit. We watched it as children. No, I don't accept that. We have watched it when we
probably
were kids.
blocked it out.
It's a fucking good movie. Anyway, it's got some...
Toy Story all the way, dog.
What's that?
Toy Story all the way, dog.
Actually, yeah, you're probably pretty young. 2002, you
Where my Pixar's at?
5.
I think that's the name of the collective.
Yeah,
Pixar fans.
I've heard that as well.
Pixar's.
Yeah. Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas. A rare L for DreamWorks, I would say. A rare L, but still a good flick. Immediately followed up by Shrek 2 a year later. So, fucking...
Honestly...
Slap my nipples and call me
Rita.
Rita.
To look like Shrek does like a human is like the goal.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Daddy energy. I was actually... So I went and saw the Minecraft movie last week, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I didn't think I was going to, and whenever I go to the cinema now in my old age, I fall asleep. Within about 2 minutes, as soon as the lights go off, I'm fucking gone. Like, and that's like... Encanto, I don't think I got through the first song. And I was responsible for
really
9 girls that day. I took my eldest for to the movies for her birthday, along with 8 of her friends, and I fell asleep in the first song, which she still hasn't forgiven me for to this day, and that was about 4 years ago.
I remember I took them to go see Frozen 2.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think I need to watch the first one because Frozen 2 goes so hard. That ballad is just iconic. When he's I can't remember the guy's name, but he's lost in the woods. Fucking hell. I was having such a blast watching that movie. Oh,
it's it gives
and
I'm just
lost
energy.
In the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's like a full 80s just it's like Bryan Adams. Anything I do it for you. Gave me that vibes.
Oh, dude, the unholiest of runs from Shrek 2, right? So actually, I was the reason why I brought up the Minecraft movie is because I took my nephew because he hadn't seen it and all the other kids had seen it. And as we were sitting down, I had regaled him with tales about how our uncle used to own half the cinema. And when we were visiting when we were kids, I couldn't sleep one night, and he saw the light on in the caravan that we were staying in at the back of his property. And he came out and he's like, "Is everything all right?" And Mum's like, "Oh yeah, Ryan can't sleep." And Doug's like, "Do you want to come and watch a movie?" And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, you know, as a fucking 5 or a 6 year old kid, I was like, "Fuck yes!" Like it's the middle of the night, that rips. So I get my little fucking dressing gown on, chuck some little shoes on. We jump in his white Hi-Ace because he doesn't drive anything else. And we cruise down to the cinema. And this is about 3 weeks to a month before the movie actually opened. And to this day, and this is something a hill that I will die on, I am the first kid in all of New Zealand to see Monsters, Inc. I was the first kid. I put my fucking house on that shit. Because we were 3 weeks to 4 weeks out from actual release date, and they were having a midnight screening for just the employees and friends of the employees, and I got to see Monsters, Inc. a month before it came out. And I will put my fucking house on the fact that I was the first kid.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know if it's the world, but like if the release date was universal, but I was definitely the first kid in New Zealand to see Monsters, Inc.
Yeah, just that, like, the employees and friends of employees got to watch it. It just reminds me of that scene in Blackout where he's like, you and me, darling, obviously. And then it goes on and on. He's like,
Field Marshal Haig's wife. Field Marshal Haig's wife's friends. And their tennis partners. Yeah, that's right.
And some chap I bumped into the mess the other day called Bernard. Top secret.
So just me and the rest of the English-speaking world is to know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
If only that wasn't just on Amazon Prime, actually, no, I don't have it on Blu-ray or DVD. Not yet.
Yeah, that tracks, actually. So,
but I've got all of Black
Books. We must have gone to visit him in, I would say, November. We must have gone down there for a week towards the tail end of school. Or either someone was getting married or someone died. I remember that happening at some stage. Because the 13th of December was the actual release date, but I can almost guarantee at 6 years old, which is what I would have been, we would have been in Hamilton for the holidays. But yeah, so and I don't know if Doug remembers. I actually want to go and fucking have a chat to him about this, but I remember distinctly the whole situation from asshole to breakfast. I remember not being able to sleep. I remember putting my little dressing gown on and jumping in the van, and why did you send me a thumbs up?
Oh, I was just responding to your message.
Oh, I see.
So,
early start. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw it. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I was just just kind of still gloating, really, because I know obviously you had no control over that. You were 4, so there's no way that you could have come along or whatever. But just having that as a weird claim to fame that, to be honest with you, I can't necessarily prove without first-hand accounts and shit. But I remember it so very vividly. Yeah. Anyway, so the hero run after Sinbad, right? A rare L for DreamWorks on this front. Immediately followed up with Shrek 2. Okay?
Yeah.
One of the best films of all time. Directed by a New Zealander. All 3 of them, actually. 4 of them. Soon to be 5. I don't know if he's coming back for the 5th one, but he definitely directed the first 4. I can't remember his name. It's like Andrew Anderson or something. He's got one of those alliteration names. So Shrek 2. Later that year, we get Shark Tale.
Honestly, deserves more appreciation.
Yeah, I think it does too. The animation probably could have used a little bit of love, a little bit of TLC, considering how good Shrek 2 was. And then they followed up with Madagascar 6 months later, which is iconic.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An underrated W for the follow-up, which is The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. I feel like that doesn't get as much love as it probably should.
I think it just because of the latest Wallace and Gromit film, I think it is now getting the appreciation it deserves.
Yeah, like a retrospective appreciation. Like
Curse of the Were-Rabbit goes hard.
Yeah, it does. But it's like a cult classic now in terms of Wallace and Gromit fandom. Like if you can't get the shorts, which most of us can't, you go back to Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Over the Hedge, I can take or leave Over the Hedge.
I like it.
It was okay. Like
The video game wasn't too bad either.
true. Followed up by Flushed Away.
Great movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just watched it with my kids too many times. It's one of those ones that
Hugh
sort of like
Jackman.
stuck around. Yeah, Hugh Jackman did a
goes
fucking
hard.
great job.
Yeah.
Followed a few months later, 6 months later, by Shrek the Third. They went on an amazing
that
run here.
movie.
Every 6 months, they pumped out a fucking classic. So Shrek the Third.
Shrek
May
the Third has one of the
2007.
best jokes in cinema history when he's like, they keep getting interrupted, and he's like, someone better be dying, and the king,
Yeah, I'm dying. Yeah,
yeah,
perfect.
classic. And then just like having Live and Let Die just blast out the speakers. That's like
and
a
having the
religious
frogs
experience
sing it
almost.
as well. Like the whole
Yeah.
bit is just great.
Yeah, that's a
followed
religious
up-
experience.
6 months later, by the Bee Movie in November of 2007. One of the most quotable
Yeah.
fucking DreamWorks films of all time.
Even though
Like
Jerry
jazz?
Seinfeld is a bit of a creep.
A rare W for Jerry Seinfeld, because I don't really care for his other work. Like, I tried watching Seinfeld. I don't really give a fuck about it personally. His
I
stand-up
kind of
is
like of the short
pretty
of the
average.
clips I've seen. I kind of like it. Like Kramer does crack me up. Like he just kind of, because he's so, like loosely based on a real life character. Just the kind of shit that he gets up to, like having a spa in his room and then nearly dying because he can't turn off the spa, or like just random shit that's just kind of entertaining. But the clips I probably should give it a proper watch. But from the clips I have seen, I kind of enjoy it. So
Okay, well, different strokes, man. Kung Fu Panda, 6 months later.
beautiful.
This is
Beautiful movie.
like, it's generational at this point, right? I was
Yeah.
13, you were 11.
Do you
it's
remember
pivotal.
watching? Do you remember watching that one skadoosh scene in all the different languages?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And,
to see if they had another word for skadoosh, and they
Yeah.
it was just different accents.
Yeah, different accents doing skadoosh, which was amazing.
And then our cousin constantly complaining.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember whether it was Mitchell or Reese.
Panda Man.
Want to watch Panda Man? What was the other one that he
I
used
want
to
to watch.
fucking freak
I
out
want to
about?
watch Horn. I want to watch Horton.
Horton, that's right. Horton Hears a Who.
Horton Hears a
Yeah.
classic movie
those
as well.
boys are up to
One that
now?
always
Like-
gets.
We have nothing
know.
to do with our first cousins on
Nah.
dad's side. Like, nothing. And it's, because no one likes the old man, so that kind of shoots that. But, like...
Yeah.
But yeah, so Madagascar 2 Escape to Africa 6 months later. Classic film.
Honestly, so good.
Monsters vs. Aliens. Pretty mid.
Oh, hold up. Hold up.
Oh, shit.
Give me a sec. So, you boys got it on.
Let's go.
I'm
You got
scared
it
to-
in 3D.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if it's going to work on my PS5 because it says 3D and then down the bottom it says for promotional use only. So what if it doesn't work? Like
What do you
I
mean, what if
have
it doesn't
I need
work?
to
Like the 3D.
like what it like. Yeah, so like you know how like when you take off the 3D glasses, there's that weird effect.
Do you
obviously.
have 3D glasses?
No,
You should get some.
I mean I haven't tried it yet. I honestly I think the only thing the Blu-ray I've watched is Hot Fuzz.
Oh, yeah.
And then I put on Black Books, and then they're just kind of there for show.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. For sure. How to Train Your Dragon, a full year later. So from March 2009 to March 2010, How to Train Your Dragon. Absolute classic. We were talking about the live action coming through in the next little while. From March to May of 2010, Shrek Forever After. I enjoyed it. The critics didn't, which is odd.
Yeah, I mean, like it kind of. Craig Robinson goes hard because he's in it, and I think he's the chef.
Yeah.
And then there's that one scene where they blow up his duck, and they all laugh at him for losing his friend or something.
Oh my
like,
god, yeah, that's
yeah,
fucking
that villain
cold,
arc is
bro.
crazy.
Like, yeah. All right, now let's do a bum's rush to the end, okay? Like, Megamind. Fucking amazing film.
Oh my!
One of the greats. Have you got the Blu-ray of that as well?
No, I don't. Oh no, wait, no. No, but I've got Shrek and Shrek 2.
Oh, yeah.
Despicable Me 2. No, I don't. I thought I did.
So,
but I don't.
Kung Fu Panda 2, following up to Megamind, just 6 months
Top-notch
later.
sequel.
6 months after that, Puss in Boots. A rare L for DreamWorks on that one, I think. Not their best work. Not their best storytelling. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, really, isn't it? Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. An acquired taste. Acquired taste. You either love it or you hate it. There's no in between. Bryan Cranston's character is a little bit overplayed. The French policewoman is almost too cartoonish. Not a fan. Rise of the Guardians, a movie that we crank at Christmas every single year.
Your boys got it. Your boys got it on DVD.
Sounds like you're going to have to start a bit of a DreamWorks collection, bro. Yes, that's the one. Christmas time, we on.
Do you remember watching that in the drive-in in Australia?
No.
Yeah, we went to the drive-in, unless it was just me and Ness, but we went to the drive-in and we watched Rise of the Guardians because Ness really wanted to see it.
Oh, true. I do not remember seeing Rise of the Guardians. I remember going to the drive-in, but I don't remember seeing Rise of the Guardians.
The one occasion we were actually allowed to do something of a leisurely activity instead of, getting belted for not brushing our teeth.
The Croods. 6 months after that, can take or leave the Croods. It's not bad. It's not good and it's not bad. Turbo, not bad. Again, acquired taste.
Great movie.
Snoop Dogg's character was great. Samuel L. Jackson's character was great.
Yeah.
The premise is good. I just feel like some of the execution was a little bit not great. Mr. Peabody and Sherman. I fucking love that movie. I don't know what the general reception is. I just fucking love that movie.
I think it's actually a very critically well received movie.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's like very, very close to the
I'm pretty sure
source material.
I'm pretty sure that Ty Burrell, who plays Phil in Modern Family, voices.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Mr. Peabody.
He is. How to Train Your Dragon 2 was okay. Pretty unmemorable, I guess. The first one sort of hit pretty hard. The second one was like and now we have to prove to you that dragons are useful. Like it's just, I think they were doing too much there. Penguins, I could take or leave Penguins. I don't really remember too much of the storyline. I remember there being an octopus involved, an evil octopus.
Yeah,
that
I
was
think
voiced by Eddie Izzard, I think.
Because he had some great lines in terms of like, he'd be like Nicholas Cage them, and he'd play a lot on like actors' names.
Oh, I see.
For the dialogue, yeah. So I thought it was entertaining.
Home was shit, and I'm willing to fist fight anyone in a car park who says it's good. Like
honestly, average.
Just the most mid fucking trash I've ever fucking seen.
Personally,
I think a Rihanna paycheck is what that movie was.
What ruins it for me is Jim Parsons. Honestly, like I think he plays the Sheldon character, but in an animated movie.
Yeah.
And I don't don't like The Big Bang Theory because it's just there's some decent jokes, but the majority of it sucks.
Yeah. I can agree. Kung Fu Panda 3. Mid. I didn't care for it. The first two were great.
I enjoyed that. Bryan Cranston goes hard. Like summoning, I believe in that movie he summons his previous foes to help.
Potentially. Like against the... I think because Oogway's biggest enemy comes back and starts turning everyone into jade statues or whatever.
That's right, yeah. And then he summons them all. Yeah, so good.
Trolls, the first one ripped. The first one was great. In terms of like an animated musical, the first Trolls was mean. Boss Baby, a little bit overdone. Didn't mind it, but you know, if I was to watch it, I wouldn't watch it again if I didn't have to.
Yeah.
Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, I enjoyed for nostalgic purposes only. I
loved it.
It was good, and I hope they make more. They've done a Dogman one, which is fine, but like I would like them to do more Captain Underpantsy type stuff. How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World is an entire movie about Toothless getting some pussy. I don't really give a shit about that movie. Like, that's pretty much it. Like, yeah, and they have little black and white babies, adorable. Fucking Hiccup grows a beard and has his own family with the blonde chick who used to beat him up. Fucking well done, goes hard. The Abominable, pretty forgetful. Forgettable, sorry, not forgetful. Pretty forgettable movie. The abominable snowman sings and it creates flowers, and then this young girl discovers she has those same powers. There isn't really much of a storyline to it. Again, Eddie Izzard is another character who plays an evil person. Yeah, it is what it is. Trolls World Tour, shit. I don't know why they made a second Trolls. I don't even know if they, because I think they made more. They did, and it was fucking shit. The second one was shit. Trolls World Tour. The Croods: A New Age was not bad. Unnecessary, but, the IP needed to be expanded, so I can get behind it to a certain extent. Spirit Untamed. 3D version of Spirit, the Stallion of Cimarron. But Spirit Untamed, he has an owner, I guess, and it's called Untamed, but this chick tames him and rides him. So, kind of against the name of the title. The other thing I had a problem with the Spirit movies and the Spirit series that they came out with as well. Spirit is a male horse, not zero horse cock in this film. And I'm not saying I'm on the lookout for horse cock, because I understand how that sounds straight off the rip. But if it's a male horse, unfortunately, there's going to be horse dick. Right? So anatomically correct horses, probably necessary. Because otherwise...
It's a kid's movie.
I understand that, and I'm not saying there should be dicks on display.
But the horses have huge dicks.
But, I mean, like...
you could see them at any angle.
Which is why, like, in this... The way that they have anatomically set these horses up, every horse in these films is female. That's how that works. Like, there's no other way to do this. Spirit, the stallion of Cimarron, has no dick. That is a female stallion, which don't exist. Okay? And
so the second one's called Spirit Tamed. It's essentially tamed.
Untamed.
Instead of untamed.
Yeah.
No, I'd call it tamed. Because
Spirit Tamed would make more sense. Boss Baby 2. Fucking shit. Don't know why I bothered. Well, I know why I bothered. I've got kids, so that's why I bothered. But, yeah. Boss Baby 2 was shit.
Saw it.
Troll Hunters Rise of the Titans was good. Followed on from the series. If you haven't seen Troll Hunters on Netflix, it's definitely worth a watch. Even if you don't have kids, it's kind of just a good storyline. Kelsey Grammer's in it. He's one of the monsters. Offers a very good character. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Then they started experimenting with a different type of animation, which I fucking love. And it's a 3D background animation with sometimes a painted 3D overlay. So The Bad Guys was the next film, April of 2022. And
oh shit, yeah.
It definitely has a different aesthetic to it, which I fucking fell in love with. They followed this up in December of that year with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, or The Final Wish, The Last Wish.
Yeah.
And that same animation style, because they've obviously taken a page out of Sony's book with Spider-Man, the Miles Morales couple of 3 movies, whatever it is they've done with those so far.
Spider-Verse.
And what they've done is they've taken that sort of pseudo-drawn aesthetic, and they've put it over the top of, the 3D animation for the bad guys in Puss in Boots, and those movies fucking rip, dude. Like, they're really
And
good.
my guy Wagner Moura, who plays Pablo Escobar in Narcos, voices the villain in
he's
Puss in
deaf.
Boots.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he rips hard as Pablo Escobar.
Oh,
honestly,
dude,
have rewatched that series so many times.
Yeah. I'm actually in the middle of it right now. I
was-
think I'm episode 7 or 8 in season 1. Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. Fucking shit. I don't know why they released that. Shit IP. Flush it. Flush it all down the toilet. Trolls, the third movie. Go and fuck yourself. So unnecessary. Lead character finds out she has a long-lost sister. No one gives a fuck. Shit movie. I watched half of it and I walked off. It was garbage. Orion and the Dark. Pretty forgettable movie. It's been a serious run of L's up until maybe 2024 for DreamWorks. Kung Fu Panda 4 was a small redemption on Kung Fu Panda 3, in my opinion. No, I fucked that up. No, Kung Fu Panda 4 was shit. Kung Fu Panda 3 was good.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I'm with you now. Kung Fu Panda 4 was garbage. Like, he essentially passed the torch in this movie. I can't remember the Asian lady's name. It's like Aquafina or something. Yeah, so absolutely has taken over the Asian American role in most Hollywood films over the last 2 to 3 years. Plays a little fox dog thing that is now the new Dragon Warrior, because Jack Black had to pass the mantle. If they make a film about Aquafina's character as the next Dragon Warrior or whatever, it will tank. It will tank so fucking hard, and it's only because Kung Fu Panda 4 was so badly received. It was less about the Furious Five and Kung Fu Panda and more about getting like her character arc started, which is what it looks like to me anyway. It looks like they're trying to build something that doesn't need to be built. Last couple, the Wild Robot, I can take it or leave it. The robot crash lands in the forest, raises a goose, a gosling to be a goose, and the ending is really shit. It's quite an average movie. I haven't seen Dogman, but I would like to. I've read a couple of the books with the kids, or I've read the books, like while they've been lying around, kind of thing. Anything Dave Pilkey, anything in the Dave Pilkey IP sphere, I will definitely give it a go. Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie. Don't know what that is. I like, and I don't. Doesn't look like something I would ever give a fuck about. Happy to leave that where it is. And lastly, The Bad Guys 2 comes out in August of this year, which I will definitely be going to see because the first Bad Guys was great. The second Bad Guys looks like it's got a few tasteless jokes and other bits and pieces in it. More than anything, I feel as though I will be forced to go and see it, regardless of whether or not I want to. Oh shit! You can apply for jobs at DreamWorks. Let's see what jobs are available at DreamWorks. Let's fucking go.
Well, my microphone's about to go flat, I'll be honest. And it's an hour and 20 in.
Hold on, let's just go. There's like 10 job listings here. Let's see.
It's been read for like the last 30 minutes.
Okay, just bear with me on this, because DreamWorks is looking for, and I shit you not, DreamWorks head of cinematography layout, manager of finance, a VP of global TV distribution, executive assistant, technology database admin, senior financial analyst, manager of creative services, senior financial analyst global distribution, and creative intern for Toys and Hardlines based in Shanghai. Which would you apply for if given the opportunity?
Probably the distribution of television one.
Yeah, actually, that makes a lot of sense because you'd be pretty neck and neck with like a lot of different. Yeah. Ooh. You know, if you wanted to move to New York, like there's an EA job and it's entry level.
Been there.
What?
Been to New York.
You should apply for a job. Fly back.
No.
Work for DreamWorks as an EA.
For EA? Did you say EA?
That's right, EA. Work as an EA for DreamWorks.
Oh.
Executive assistant.
Nah. I don't want to be an assistant.
You know what? I would gun for the associate job. I'd go for DreamWorks feature head of cinematography. I'd get to be seriously creative in that role. Right, I'm applying. I'm moving to Glendale, California.
Been there.
To Glendale specifically?
I've been to California.
Fucking it's huge. Like it's the size of New Zealand.
So,
have you been to
have you
Glendale? That'd be like saying, "Have you been to Christchurch?" But
also
but you've been to LA. You've been to LA, but have you been to Christchurch?
California has, I think, California, in terms of economic output, they rival the majority of countries in the world. They could be their own sovereign nation. And
you're not helping your point here, though. That's what I'm saying. Is it's. Have you been to Glendale?
No,
California?
you said California, so I'm just saying that I've been there. And then I remembered that they have a higher economic output than most countries in the world, and they'd be okay if they were their own sovereign nation. And they also are rioting at the moment, but that's...
Oh, yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
They shot that Australian reporter as well.
Yeah, in the leg.
Yeah.
That was rough. But,
holy shit, 155 to 190K per year for this this associate role. Let's see what an EA earns. Ooh, yuck. Position is eligible for company-sponsored benefits including medical, dental, and vision insurance, 401k, paid leave, tuition reimbursement, and a variety of other discounts and perks. Learn about more benefits offered by NBC Universal by visiting the benefits page of the careers website. Salary range for an EA at DreamWorks, one of the highest grossing fucking film companies in the world, is 45 to 57,000.
Yeah, because you're an assistant. They put executive in front of it because you might go and get a coffee for a director. It's not a glamorous job.
No, you're an assistant to an executive. That's literally the title of the job.
Yeah,
so
fuck that. Absolutely, wholeheartedly, fuck that.
Jesus Christ, is that even minimum wage in the States? Ooh, what the fuck? Minimum wage in the States is $7.25 per hour.
Yeah, convert that into New Zealand dollars. It's like probably $14-15.
NZD to USD. 7.25 is $12.
Yeah.
That is criminal, bro.
I mean, like, it's kind of wild because, yeah, like, I don't know. It's difficult to say because having been there, their food rips.
What did you say the minimum wage was the other day when I asked you?
I think it's 20. Currently in New Zealand, it's $23.50.
$23.50, right? So that's double minimum wage in the States. So our minimum wage would be $14.21 US.
Yeah.
And what NBC is offering is between $21.63 and $27.64 an hour. So let's take a medium of 25. Jesus. So as an EA, you'd be earning almost $42 New Zealand per hour. That's pretty fucking good. Like, all things considered, that's pretty fucking good.
But things also are probably. I'd say, now that the tariffs are in place, I think a lot of things would be more expensive. But generally speaking, I'd say a lot more things are expensive over here, which is why
let's
the
look
minimum
at
wage is so high.
the Big
Or
Mac
higher.
Index. The Big Mac Index is a country in which you can basically gauge how the economy sits as to how much a Big Mac burger costs by itself. There's like a whole thing around this. So in the States, it is $5.69 for a Big Mac. In New Zealand, it is $4.99. This is the burger by itself, and this is in US dollars. So we aren't even in the top 10 in terms of difference from the US. Let's have a look. That's not how you spell New Zealand. Right. We are minus 12.32% in difference from the US. So we are better off in terms of like money. The money to expenditure ratio is better here by roughly negative 12%. But their creature comforts would be crazy. Like Arizona iced tea is $1.
Yeah.
A bottle of Coke from the dairy, it would be $1.
The red light is flashing.
It's gonna die.
God's sake. Yes.
All right, should we call it noosh?
Probably for the best.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking around for our ramblings. It was more of a DreamWorks episode than anything else. I had a good time. I hope you had a good time. We'll be back next week for even more hijinks. I'm going to wish you a Kung Fu Panda oosh.
You guys know what I'm going to say.
Do
so
they?
I'm not going to say it. Leave you hanging. Bye.
Oh, shit. Bye.